Hello, everybody! It is Monday! Hello! How are we doing tonight, everybody? What is going on? Tell me about it. Who is with us tonight? Hey, Adele! Are you in first? Is that Adele and Dazzle in first? Zach is watching. Hey, Zach, good to have you with us. Nice to have everybody here tonight on this Monday night. Kitty, good to have you. How are you tonight? How are things in Illinois? It's the Illinois, you were first on my screen as well, Adele. I was very impressed you and Dazzle in first tonight. Jennifer's giving everybody else a chance. That's what it comes down to. Hey, Melissa, great to have you with us. Hang on a second here. Hang on one second, folks. I gotta make some space here.
No, don't move that one. Don't move that one.
Okay.
I'm moving the other one.
We've had some set readjustment tonight, so I'm getting people readjusted. Yes, I'm good now. I'm sorry, Kitty, that they showed up melted. I like them in the freezer, actually. I cut them up in the freezer. Hey, Dana. Vina. They're really good, Kitty. I'm a lousy shipper, although I've been doing a lot of shipping today. Melissa's in Albuquerque. I knew the name, I just couldn't make it click in my head, Melissa. It's great to have you with us from Albuquerque. Oh, Dennis, you are getting very worldly. Have you been tested for COVID recently? Now, bonjour? Hey, Leanne. Tomorrow's 1 week in. Good to see you. Gatlinburg. Hey, Vina, Gatlinburg. That's great. I'm glad you and Art are getting away. Or I hope Art's with you. Hey, Suki.
Hi.
Rebecca's office space was infringing on my office space, on my live space. Yeah, I don't know how they normally ship that. They gotta have a way. I don't know what to do.
Last time we got shipment was dry ice.
Oh, they had dry ice things in it? Okay, well, see what I know about that. But everybody after they reconstitute, Kitty, I hope you enjoy them. Boise on Wednesday. All right. 92 from one end of Illinois to the other, from top to bottom. All right. Well, I'll say cheers to that. Well, I don't think they do French in Boise, Dennis, so I think you're going to be okay without your French there. I think. I don't know. I've never been to Boise. I have to admit that I have not been there. That is someplace that I have not been. Hey, Rick, good to have you with us. I have so many people I have to catch up with. I am, wicked behind on that, but I digress. Let's get this party started tonight with the Good Morning, Good Night book. Hey, Chris is joining us tonight. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night. Ooh, I haven't seen this page before. Page 186. 186 is where we're getting going today. We'll be able to travel again, Julie, before you know it. I'm like you. I want to travel. I want to see people, but we'll be able to do it before you know it. Good morning. Set the thermostat for your heart today. The temp where you like it. You know yourself. You know what you need. Take your time. Hey, Pat in the Peanut Gallery. Potatoes equal French fries. Hey, that sounds like Idaho to Texas conversion there, Dennis. You've got the what's the language translator? Oh God, the language thing escaping. Rosetta Stone. You're Rosetta. You must be doing Rosetta Stone for Idaho to Texas. Potatoes equal French fries. But that is our good morning tonight, folks, and a laugh from Dennis there as he prepares to travel to Boise. All right. What do we got going on here? Oops, that's for Cassandra's pile. What have I got in my pile tonight, folks? We feel like I've got a lot going on here today. It's been crazy. I don't know about it. What are we all grateful for tonight? I didn't ask that. I feel I'm backwards tonight. What are we all grateful for? I did our good morning, good night before I asked what we're grateful for. I think Dennis is grateful for French fries. Hey, Nebraska Angie, how are you? It is good to see you, or see you with us. It is, it is. What is everybody grateful for tonight? Tell me about it. Well, we got purple hearts with Angie and Julie having purple hearts. I know they're grateful for each other, but what are we grateful for? I'm grateful for continued online sales today. The online shoppers have been out in force the last couple days. T-bone steaks at Julie's. Julie's always eating good. Brownies for breakfast yesterday. T-bone steaks today. It must be good to be in Gurnee. Illinois, I mean, it's the place. Brownies and T-bones. Yeah, we're eating leftovers. We're scrounging through the fridge. Zucchini lasagna. All right. Kitty got a lot processed today. That's good. That's very good. Because you can't sell it if you don't have it. And if it doesn't have a tag, well, you can sell it if it doesn't have a tag on it. That's a whole nother story. But I'm glad you got a lot processed today, Kitty. I want to live like Julie. I do. Chocolate, steaks. This is the good life. Seems hot in Texas for lasagna right now, but that's just me. What the heck do I know? I'm not in Texas. Well, that's true. Depends on how good your air conditioning is in Texas. Your air conditioning is probably pretty good, Dennis. Hey, Kelly in Albuquerque. Good to have you with us. Okay, so let's get this party started here tonight. Got a bunch to cover. And I have trivia tonight. Tonight's trivia. Hey, Alexa, Suki. Okay, are you guys ready for some trivia? I thought I'd mix it up here tonight. Oh, Chris, that's awesome. That is something that I miss in all this. Is seeing people smile, getting that hug, that high five, that woo, you did a good job, woo, high fives. All of that is missing from our society right now. There are some that say we will never do that again, and I don't believe them. I think we are people that need contact, and it's good for our mental health. So I look forward to better days when that comes back. So I thought I'd add some trivia because I really liked this when I saw it. Okay? The last name of John, Daniel, Elijah, and Edward, whose sperm turned 200 in 2018 and has dressed 40 U.S. presidents. So again, tonight's trivia. Last name of John Daniel Elijah and Edward, whose firm turned 200 in 2018 and has dressed 40 U.S. presidents. See if you guys can come up with that during the program. Looking for the last name there. All right, what do we got going on in the world here before we deal with some other things? Taxes. Taxes. I was reminded by my accountant today when we were talking that taxes are due next week. Taxes are due next week. For if you have not filed your taxes, they are due on July 15th. July 15th is when the tax deadline is. The IRS has already said it will not be extended. And so take care of your tax deadline if you have not already. I was like, usually my accountant does our payroll, and he was like, yesterday he messaged me, hey, any changes to this week's payroll, because I'm going to do it early. And usually he does it early when he's going away or during tax season. And it just didn't click with me that it was tax season still, because I was actually very, very good this year. I think I had everything in by the end of January. I think I had it in. I think I had it to him.
Yeah,
it was early. It was before I started. I had so much travel this year. It might have been mid-January. I had it done. I had everything to him. So I completely forgot that this is tax season. I'm like, oh, where are you going away? And he laughed at me. He sent me a thing. He's like, taxes, baby, taxes. He's like, the piles that got dropped off to him, his office is full from end to end. He said the piles that have been dropped off to him the last couple of days. So he did our payroll today at 2:30 in the morning, which is not uncommon for him during tax season. But he's usually not having to work this hard in July. Wow, you guys are good at this trivia. That is correct. The Brooks Brothers Company. Brooks is correct. That is very, very good, guys. Good job with that. We got to talk about the PPP for a second. The PPP, if you have not applied, is still available. If you're still thinking about it, if you still want to know if it's for you, email me, we'll talk. But obviously the PPP is available to people still. And the big news today, depending on where you are in the country, is the list of people that got one that was over $150,000 was released today. So it was released with ranges. That list was released in ranges and stuff. And the bottom line is it helped lots and lots of companies. Lots and lots of companies. 86% of the loans, or 85.5% of the loans, are under $150,000. 85.5% of the loan recipients. Okay, the volume of loan recipients got loans for under $150,000, which represents only 26% of the money. Okay. But it's going to be all over the news with all the big guys that did get one. But car dealers got them, okay? But car dealers were decimated in this too. I'm not sure, as much as New England loves Tom Brady, I'm not sure that why his health company that he owns, needed a loan of between $350,000 and $1 million. I think that's kind of hard for people to swallow with Tom Brady's personal wealth and that of his even richer wife. But I'm not going to Monday morning quarterback that. I know how many of you it has helped, and that's what I focus on. So we will So we're going to be looking at this week. I should hopefully have more information on the super forgiveness for people under 150,000. That is still looking promising. Part of that will depend on how it shakes out with all these people north of 150,000, because the news cycle can affect that. So I'm hoping that that doesn't deter from all the really good things that the PPP has done and what it has done for people in this group, and that tune in every night. So I know what good it has done, and it has done that thousands and thousands of times over for businesses all across this country. So, what we will see how that shakes out this week. And I still think it's promising that there will be a targeted second PPP available. A second PPP available to businesses, one, that have used it, two, in specific industries such as retail, restaurants, and hospitality. But hey, Crystal's watching tonight, and Kitty used all her PPP. That is awesome. We have as well. But I will keep you updated on that. There's a bill in the Senate right now, and this might get some legs. It's kind of a quiet bill right now, but you never know where this is going. Several states and different cities have already passed measures, and Massachusetts has had a law on this since the 70s that requires retailers to accept cash, and actually most businesses to accept cash. And that is actually a bill that is making strides in the Senate. The Payment Choice Act targets businesses that refuse to accept cash as payment or charge a higher price for cash over other forms of payment. It proposes a fine of $2,500 for the first offense and $5,000 for the second. So it's going after the contactless payment, and it's going after all the other things that are happening with that. So there's a lot of unbanked in this country, and it is, and it has historically been. So I mean, goes back to discrimination against those that are unbanked. So I mean, that's really what that comes back to there. The National Retail Federation's chief economist says the recovery will be slow. And, in a lot of different ways it will be, okay? But I think economic forecasts are hard to come by right now. We'll see where things pan out. I think things are, I remain optimistic. I love cash, too. One of the things I carry will always tend to have on me, Kitty, and it goes back to my father and his father. I always have a $2 bill on me. Okay, there's some old money that you don't see in active circulation, but I tend to always have a $2 bill on me. And that is just an old-time cash thing. Hey, Anita, how are you? Hope all is well. I gotta say I got some encouraging inside news on department stores today on sales in various departments in the department stores, such as Dillard's and Macy's and such, are actually doing quite well. Some inside track there on sales and their reorders, and that business has been strong in the reopened stores. Not that they haven't closed underperforming stores. Dillard's closed like 8 stores. Macy's is obviously closing stores. They're becoming a stronger companies, but they are ordering merchandise, reordering from companies, and my inside track, they're having a lot of very strong departments within it, and so then they're reorganizing under that. I mean, some areas of the store have been up 40 and 50% in June, which is really very encouraging. Am I an old lady, Kitty? Is that what you're calling me? An old lady? Only old ladies buy $2 bills. Yeah, I never, I've always asked. I've asked my aunts. It's one thing. I knew my father always kept them and always liked them. When one came in the pharmacy, he would keep them back in the day. And it's a habit that I picked up from him. And the only thing, I never actually had the discussion of why my father did it with him, but I had it with my aunts, and all I got was his father did it. And so I haven't gotten to the truth yet of where that started or why that started with the $2 bill, him carrying, but I've carried it on. And I always have $2 bills, and like back in the days when you could have a corner lemonade stand, I would pay whatever it was plus leave $2 bills. Right, I love them. I have nothing more than that. It's just something that I keep and everything else. But it is important. So.
We're gonna watch the rain.
Okay, you can go watch the rain. Well, a lot of stores are still frozen in March, Jana, and they don't know how to unload it. Found it interesting. What was it? Old Navy's ad, Cassandra? Ad talking about how much they donated. Wasn't it them? Yeah. Have you seen the ad that Old Navy is running, talking about how great they are with how much they've donated since the pandemic? Okay, over $30 million in clothing that they've donated. Yeah, they donated all. They took the donation at full price. For the ad, they listed at full price. Okay, which nobody pays full price at Old Navy. Okay, and it's all the stuff they couldn't sell because of the pandemic. So yes, they donated $30 million sort of clothing, but it's a really deceiving ad to the reality of their business. So it's not like they normally donate $30 million in clothing and are that. Well, and I'm okay with donate clothing, but donate something somebody can use. They're like everybody else. Everybody's overwhelmed with stuff right now. With incoming, with donations. So even that, they don't know what to do with it. When you donate that clothing out, and for the sake of the ad, they're talking about full rack rate, and nothing at Old Navy sells at full rack rate. So it's really kind of misleading. Okay, so I covered that, and so the other thing that's been a hot topic that's been in my email box a lot the last couple days that you guys have been sending me is talking about COVID again. So I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to talk about it from my perspective and my soapbox here for it. But it's something we're all going to have to deal with. Okay, the virus is real. The virus isn't going away. We've covered that. Okay. The reality of it in our workplace, or the potential of it in our workplaces, is real. Okay, coming into contact. We want people to come to work that are healthy. The reality is, unlike us, who our businesses are our life, okay, and we're there all the time, our employees, we hope, have a life. And with that, with our team members having a life, they're going to continue living. And we want them to do that. That means they're going to travel some. Some are going to go to the beach this weekend. Some are going to go to the next state over. Some are going to go visit their parents in another state. Where does the line cross in that? And that's a really hard thing to answer. Okay? each one of you, as the governor of your store, has to define what that is and what level of invasion into your employees' lives you think you need. Okay? Are you going to ask all your employees if they've been to Texas, for example? Okay? Or Florida? Okay? Are you going to, make them a test that they haven't been to that between the last time that they came to work? If they took a weekend. I mean, I've gone to Disney World for a 3-day weekend before. It's a heck of a drive, but I've done it. Okay? That's when I was younger and dumber. So it is possible. Okay? What your employees do and what your responsibility is to your company and your consigners, you really run a fine line, not so much on the virus itself, okay, but where you run a line is your invasion into the employee's non-work time, okay, and how you track that, who you decide to track, who you decide not to track. I'm not tracking. Jimmy's boring as all heck. He would never go anyplace. But he went to Vegas last weekend. Who knew? Okay? And you didn't know till he brought it back. This is going to happen. I mean, it is going to happen that, COVID is going to enter our workplace. It does. Okay? The virus doesn't stop. So that's where being smart, wearing masks, okay, cleaning often. Those are all good things. You don't get into trouble from a labor law perspective by not asking your employees, but as you start asking where they're going and where they've been, you really start walking a slippery slope of what you're allowed to do as an employer. So just keep that in mind, and the one thing I would tell you is to be consistent, okay? Consistency is really important so that you treat everybody equally, so that you're not playing favorites, that you're not playing, you're not asking Jimmy where he's going, but Susie, likes to party, and there isn't a set protocol, Suki. There's the one you establish is the protocol, okay? So the protocol you establish is the most important thing is that you consistently apply it. Okay? The most important thing is that you ask your employees not to come in if they're feeling sick, if they're showing any of the symptoms. That is on the list of things on the report to work checklist that we have posted at narts.org. Okay? That they're self-checking every day. That is the most important thing you can be doing. Okay, wearing masks and asking your employees, reminding them of those questions. Not that you want the answers, because you don't want to be recording the answers to those things either. Okay, but you want to reinforce the habit and the behavior. Okay, do you have a sore throat today? You have a temperature? Have you been around anybody that has those symptoms? It lists it all out. Doing those things is important. And is probably more likely because there's some people that will not interact with anybody, won't stop and get gas, won't stop and do anything, and just, wash your hands. Keeping a clean environment, keeping your hands clean, wearing a mask, these are all good behaviors to help minimize the risk. But the risk exists by being in an active society. So that is the best advice I can give you, and to be consistent. So if you're going to say, okay, anybody that's been to that, so then are you now asking your employees to report if they've been to these states? Okay? So again, you have to do that consistently. And do that, if you... in Texas, if they're going to the party spots, like the island, what is it? Padre, Galveston, any of the beaches, what are you defining as that? and and who is policing it, because you have to consider how you police it. Okay, so if Susie tells you that I know Johnny went to Galveston partying all weekend, does that make him bad? And does Susie, who went to the mountains this weekend and was camping not around anybody, does that make her good? Or is she bad because she didn't have good hygiene, because there weren't good washing facilities and she didn't have access to keep us clean, but she wasn't interacting with anybody? These are the challenges we face, okay? But I encourage you, in whatever you do, to be extremely consistent, because that, if you get into a labor law issue with this, okay, with asking the questions, okay, excessively, okay, and inquiring with one member of your team versus another, that is where you get into problems. So just an even-handed approach. We're relying on the checklist and reminding our team of that. Even when we have hired some new people, that's one of the first things we're showing them. This is your report to work checklist. Okay? If you can't say these things, if you're feeling any of these, do not report to work. Okay? We do not want you to report to work at that point. So that is a key thing, and it's something I've heard from you all a lot in the last couple of days in different ways. But it's really important the consistency is my most important thing that I can share with you on that. And if you can be consistent without being invasive, okay, because you can't manage everything in your employees' personal lives, okay? You don't want to go down that hole. That'll get you into trouble, and the idea that you're trying to prevent a public health in your business won't be a good defense for that, okay? And keep in mind, everything from the CDC, everything from OSHA, all these organizations, there are no actual requirements. There's nothing. There is actually just recommendations. And I was looking for it before I came on the air tonight, but there's actually been that it isn't worthwhile for companies to test. Bigger companies have looked at testing their employees, or doing regular testing, or offering testing, and they've decided that it just isn't practical and just not worth it. And there's not a high enough payback, especially where you can be negative today and positive tomorrow or next week. So they have most major companies have shied away from that, while they originally liked that idea, and different companies were trying to ramp up to offer that to big companies, so they could have their own in-house testing and stuff, or every Monday at your company they could come test everybody, and it just really wasn't cost or practical to do. So just something to keep in mind and to be consistent with. That is what I encourage you with. Okay? Even up here, when things are much better than they were. People from New York were especially persona non grata. Okay, they were shunned if you went to New York. Okay, I have to go take care of my things for my brother in upstate New York, so I go there on a fairly regular basis. And even up here, when things were really heating up, we live in Connecticut. Our stores are in Massachusetts. We didn't know whether we should be in a Connecticut car with Connecticut plates, or one of the ones registered to the store that's got Massachusetts plates. We were really undecided on that for a little bit as we watched it. But keep that in mind as we work through this. Hey, Diane and Jennifer joined us tonight. Great to have you with us. And Jennifer Johnson, late tonight, Jennifer. Were you out partying tonight? So that is what's happening there. Where else am I going tonight? I have started getting homework from several of you. I have started getting homework because that is our hot topic of the week. Okay, is inventory. Okay, our hot topic of the week is inventory, and we will be talking about that a lot this week. So I have sent that out to you guys. It is posted in the NARTS Facebook group and at narts.org/resalestrong. Hey, you're allowed to have dinner with friends, Jennifer. It's okay. Adele was first tonight. Just want you to know that Adele was first, and she was very excited. But I'm glad you were out with friends, and I'm glad you enjoyed. And I hope you ate well at a fine Naples establishment. Because there's so many good places to eat in Naples. So, if you have not seen it yet, the updated homework, there is this wonderful sheet that you can use as your guide. You're looking in your system to send me for the months of June, July, August, and September of 2019, your net sales, that's the total sales without sales tax. The number of transactions, the Lake Park Diner, that sounds like something some Yankee would have done, some New York, New Jersey person who, we go out to the diner. And we went to the diner. That sounds like something somebody from up north dropped in the middle of Naples. Okay, so you're sending me your net sales, the total sales without sales tax. The number of transactions, that is the number of receipts that you rang through the register in those given months. The number of units sold, that is the actual amount of items you sold during that month. The amount of inventory you accepted that month and price. The inventory received in dollars and the number of items. Melissa, you don't have the ability to get, that is a good question, okay? If the employer is doing it, consistently, and asks people not to come to work for 14 days, does the employee have the ability to file and get workers' comp? No, okay? You may be able to, depending on your state, collect unemployment during that period, but you won't be able to get workman's comp. Oh, is that one of the places? See, I don't remember names, Jennifer. I'm terrible with names. I believe you that I ate there. Was that the outdoor place? If you go on vacation out of state, okay, as a personal choice, Melissa, are you eligible for unemployment? You may, okay, if you're asked to self-quarantine, okay, or if your state's recommending you self-quarantine, or if your employer, oh, I love that place. That place was awesome, Jennifer. Loved it. Love that place. See how good I am with names? That's okay. You may, unemployment will be very iffy. Any of it's very iffy, Melissa. Because it's a reduction in employment, it's a temporary thing, you may be able to collect, depending on the state, unemployment. But you wouldn't be able to get workers' comp. You may be able to get temporary unemployment. But it really depends on how consistently they do it and what they do. And it would also, if you're asked to self-quarantine, it would also then mean that you are that would be one of the things you'd have to attest to. Not that your employer is not allowing you to come to work, but that you are also self-quarantining because of this and possible exposure to it. And you'd have to be certifying that you are doing that. Okay, because that would mean that you're not then going and sitting at the beach. You're staying at home and quarantining, which isn't fun either. There's no there's no perfect answer. You got to keep in mind that your decisions and how you handle this. So let me just go back to this one more time. Your decisions, how you handle COVID, one will be evolving, okay? Because this is an evolving situation with evolving knowledge and isn't going away anytime soon. Anytime soon, okay? This is not going to stop anytime soon. It is an evolving thing, but you have to think long term with this, okay? You know, if you send everybody home that does anything, you're not going to have much staff to begin with, and it's hard enough. Things are hard right now, and these aren't, and it's hard on everybody. You're trying to balance lives and livelihood, health for people in your business and everything else. I don't think anybody in today's world is going to have a black mark on their business, okay, as a small business because an employee got it. That's just the reality today. It's more like the business that didn't have anybody is going to be the surprise, you know, a year down the road. So just take appropriate precautions and be consistent. So for the homework sheet, which is available in narts.org/resalestrong, narts.org/resalestrong, and in the Narts Facebook group, because we're going to talk a lot about inventory. The other key figure that I asked for is your inventory received April to June 2020 and still available in dollars and number of items. And your goals for sales for July, August, and September 2020. Because this is about 2020 2.0, people. It is 2020 2.0. Okay? We are going to come out of this. This is the year that I talked about my accountant at the top of the program. This is the year I want you to call me in January or February or April 15th next year when you're actually sitting down to do your taxes and say, holy crap, Neil, I owe taxes. I want you to be weird. I want your business to be the one that shines in your community. I want you to be the one that has to pay taxes because this year was so good, not so bad. That is what 2020 2.0 is all about. It is all about getting to the other side of this and being stronger, and it starts with the inventory. And that's why inventory is a hot topic for me this week. By sending me your numbers, we'll be able to have a discussion one-on-one about your numbers and where you're going. But I'm going to have an abstract discussion this week. This is the topic du jour of the week. I have to sprinkle in some real things that are happening because these are real things that you guys are asking about. Talking about COVID and things is things that you guys want to talk about. But we have to talk about the inventory because we have to get these numbers into your head a little bit because it's all a math game. This is all a math game, okay? And getting us to the other side of this and working your numbers to get you to the other side is so incredibly important. So I am honored to be here with you. I'm honored to hold your hand in this journey, or virtually hold your hand since I'm not allowed to hold your hand. Until I can hold your hand again, I am doing it at a safe distance here. So that is what we're doing. I know I have a lot of yours in my email today. We have been crazy busy today shipping packages. I mean, the things that people buy at 2 o'clock in the morning is just, needless to say, amazing to me. It always has amazed me, but this week, the last couple days has just been nuts with shipping and everything else. We've been, our mailman today was just like, whoa! And so happy to do that, but I've been tied up between the stores today, being busy, and helping ship and just keep everything else moving. What do I get for turning in your homework? Well, I'll work on that, Suki. I don't know yet. Since Kitty's told me I can't mail peanut butter cups anymore, that mailing peanut butter cups was a bad idea. I'm going to have to figure out what else I can mail or what I can send people for doing their homework. But you get a better 2020. You get 2020 2.0 is what you do get for turning in your homework, Suki. You get the reboot of 2020 and how we restart 2020 and how resale rises to the other side of this, okay? We will be on, Resale Island will rise above everything else as we get to the other side of this. Because that is so important. That is huge, and that is what we're doing here. Yours is going to be an A+. I love it. I look forward to reading it, Suki, and looking at it, because we're going to get everybody to the other side and grow our way out of this. That is the plan. There isn't another path for us. There isn't the 10-year path out of this, okay? This is 2020 2.0, and this is how we grow our way out of this. All the resources I talk about here, everything I reference, including the homework that you need to do, are available at narts.org/resalestrong. narts.org/resalestrong is how we do it. Gold stars. I'll have to see if I have any gold stars, Kitty. I'll see what I can find. But narts.org/resalestrong is where you find all the resources, including these videos, where you can share them with all your friends in business, because it's so important that we get everybody to the other side of this. We want to help everybody get to the other side. I am here nightly at More 8 Than Ish. More 8 Than Ish. Every night you'll find me here live in the Narts private Facebook group, where you get to ask me your questions, and we get to have a conversation here live every night. It then goes to narts.org/resalestrong by noon the next day. Noon the next day, through the magic of Cassandra and Adele, get it all over there and make it all happen. When you have a question that you don't know the answer to, you want to send your homework in, or you just need a helping hand, reach out to me. It's Neil, Neil, at ECIstores.com. Neil at ECIstores.com. That is where you email me. Make sure you include your phone number so that when I can catch your breath, I can call you back. My call list is longer than I would like it to be right now, but I will get back to everybody. I know I owe some of you a call longer. I was looking through the list and I had missorted and dealt, and so I feel terrible about some that have not gotten a call, but I will catch up with everybody and get that list caught up. I will be back here tomorrow night at More 8 Than Ish, but until then, we have our Good Morning, Good Night book, which is how we start the program every night. Every night we start with the Good Morning, Good Night book and end that way. For those of you like Jennifer that were not here at the top of the morning, at the top of the program, our good morning today was good morning. Set the thermostat for your heart today, the temp where you like it. You know yourself. You know what you need. Take your time. Our good night tonight is set that thermostat for your heart tonight, the temp where you like it. You know yourself. You know what you need. Take your time, people. That is our good morning, good night tonight. I will be back here tomorrow night live at More 8 Than Ish. I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, any kind of party. I will be back here tomorrow night, but until then, know that you and you, but most importantly you, are not alone running this store. I'll see you tomorrow, everybody. It's time for dessert.